words are seeds. This idea that words are seeds came to me recently. And if that were true, that words are seeds, and they are, what are we planting? What are we planting? What kind of seeds are we planting in our minds, in the minds of others? What kind of seeds are we planting in our lives? With the things that we say and the words that we speak. What ideas, beliefs, perspectives are we creating with the words that we use every day, the phrases that we continuously speak over ourselves, over our lives, over others? When we plant certain seeds, we have an intention behind it. We know, okay, I'm planting these particular seeds in this particular space to grow a certain type of tree or a certain type of flower or a vegetable or a fruit, because maybe I'm planting food so that I can have something to eat, or I'm planting flowers so that I have something beautiful to enjoy, or trees for protection and beauty and air, fresh air. So there's an intention behind the seeds that we're planting. So if words are seeds, what is the intention? Words carry intentions and they carry energy. The seeds grow into our reality as we know it. Over time, when we continuously plant the same seeds, the same words and phrases that we speak continuously, casually, a lot of times we don't even know it. We're not conscious to it. How many phrases do we have that were passed down to us that our parents said, and maybe at one point it was like, you rolled your eyes at something that a parent or a caregiver said or a teacher would say all the time, and then you find yourself picking up on it unconsciously. And then we carry these same phrases and beliefs and words and we pass them along. We just pass them along to the next generations. But what if we could slow down and notice what are we actually planting? What kind of seeds? Are we planting seeds of doubt, fear, anxiety, scarcity? Or are we planting seeds of hope, of love, of expansion, and abundance, and possibility? A lot of the phrases that we speak over ourselves, the seeds that we plant, that we're implanting into our minds and the minds of the next generation, are these seeds of doubt, seeds of fear, seeds of anxiety. And it's just an opportunity to get curious, to look at it a little bit more and question it. And notice. Just notice. It's not a judgment, an opportunity to judge yourself, shame yourself, feel guilt, feel blame. It's noticing it, getting curious. That's interesting. Do you know how powerful you are? Do you know how powerful you are? Most of us don't realize exactly how powerful we are and how much power we have in creating our reality. And that can be tricky when our reality is not what we want it to be. And this isn't about victim blaming. This isn't about blaming at all. This isn't about shaming, blaming, guilting ourselves or anybody else. This is about stepping into the power that we have and what we do have control over. And words, the words that we speak into our lives, about ourselves, about others, we have power over that. That is something that only we have the power over for ourselves. And a big piece of it for me has been slowing down. Because I am naturally a fast talker. And I think there's a time and a place for that. And I can enjoy a quick-witted back and forth banter situation. But recently I've learned the art of slowing down my words, slowing down my breath. And when you slow down your speech, every word holds more weight. Every word means a little bit more and feels more intentional, naturally. Because you're not rushing to fill a gap or fill a void. Another idea that came through at the same time that the understanding of words as seeds was being more careful with your words and the things that we say. And I broke up, this word careful. For me, I associated being careful with being worried about maybe a level of anxiety, being worried about people pleasing, what everybody was thinking. But this idea to break it up into full of care, not the anxious, worried about making sure everything's okay, careful, but also not being careless, lacking consideration, respect, thought about how the things we say make people feel, make ourselves feel. How do we really feel about the words that we speak and the things that we say to ourselves and others? And so I think, I was contemplating this idea of careful, careless, carefree. So I want to be carefree in the sense of I want to care and not care too much about the things that don't matter, holding things lightly, having a sense of lightness and freedom in the way and the things that I care about. But being careful with our words is a loving and considerate thing to do. Another idea, along with words are seeds, is that words are also spells. Words are spells. That's why they call it spelling. And if spells doesn't resonate with you, words are prayers, words are mantras, etc., that we are continuously speaking over ourselves, our lives. And this includes the words that we express outwardly, that we say out loud to ourselves and to others, and our internal dialogue as well. So, along with words are spells, I want to offer up an example. In myths and fairy tales, oftentimes when a spell or a curse is put on someone, it is required that someone say the magic words or offer a counter spell in order to break a curse or a spell that's been put on them. So this is kind of like if you have a limiting belief, a spell, a phrase that you continuously speak over yourself and over your life, in order to break that, oftentimes we need to come up with a counter to it, a reframing or an opposite belief phrase that we can begin to speak over our life instead. And so, what if it were true that words are spells? What if it were true that words are seeds? I invite you to get curious about it. It can be a fun experiment. As you go throughout your day, notice, just slow down a little bit and notice the little phrases or words that you continuously speak and say. One that I'm going to offer a couple examples. I'll offer one from my own experience of something that I've said and something that I've noticed a couple friends in my life have said. A couple of my friends continuously say a phrase that goes something like this. It's always something. It's always something. And what they mean by that is it's said in a way that there's always a problem. It's always something is something that's said continuously over their life, whenever a situation or a perceived problem arises, you say the phrase, it's always something. Oh, it's always something. It's always something. And then people will often agree. I hear this is not just a couple friends, actually. This is a very, very common thing that people say. And it's a lot of the common phrases that are said in everyday colloquial conversations. And then we find ourselves just kind of agreeing because it's very common to commiserate with people, to say, oh, I know, it's always something. It is always something. Well, if you continuously say it's always something, meaning there's always a problem and it's and then there's the next problem and the next issue and things are always coming up, you're actively creating that. You're powerful. You're really powerful. Your words are so powerful. And that's an amazing thing once you realize, because it means that just as easily you can stop saying these things, and you can choose to do something different, to say different things, to speak differently, to speak words of beauty and love and possibility over your life, not words of limitation and frustration and exhaustion. It's an opportunity. So the phrase, it's always something. And your reality has to match that. If you continuously say that it's always something, your reality is going to continue to bring you, the universe is going to continue to bring you something in the form of a problem, an issue, so that you can continue to be right about your truth. What you see in the world, what you focus on, you get more of. It is natural law. It is the way our reality works. It is the way our minds work. It is the way our subconscious mind works. The universe works. God works. Whatever you want to call it, it's the way it works. And so an example for me, one of my limiting beliefs that I realized I was holding, just one of them because I have several, was this idea that it's too good to be true. And I think a lot of us hold that belief. You know, that the idea, there's a couple things that go along with it. Even with the it kind of is similar to it's always something, where it's like waiting for the other shoe to drop kind of energy. But the it's too good to be true, this is too good to be true, then again, if I believe that when good things happen to me, that it is too good to be true, then the universe, my reality, my mind isn't even going to allow truly good things and beyond good, incredible, amazing, fantastic, beautiful things to come into my life, because I'm not going to believe it. I'm not going to trust it. It's too good to be true. And so my reality is going to honor that and show me that, until and unless I can notice that. Really, like, releasing limiting beliefs, one of the biggest piece is the biggest piece is awareness and noticing. Once you notice, you'll continue to notice the little phrases and limiting ideas and beliefs. And just noticing, holding it in your awareness it will begin to loosen its hold. And again, then we have the opportunity to turn it on its head and offer a new perspective, a new belief to go in its place, or a new idea. What if? I wonder what would happen if, for the example of it's always something, another possibility could be, if something happens in your life, right, a perceived problem, something you don't enjoy about your reality, you don't like it, some form of drama, challenge, whatever, you can say, it's always something. Or a new perspective shift could be, everything is always working out, no matter how it looks at any point in time. Everything is always working out for me, no matter how it looks at any point in time. Right? Now, if the universe delivers you a challenge or a frustrating event, and you have that kind of a perspective on, like a curious, just approach it with a little bit of like curiosity as opposed to frustration, irritation. Also, just think of it as an experiment. What if you did something different? If you don't like things about your current reality, how can it hurt? Can it hurt to try something different, to shift things a little bit as an experiment? I might be wrong. I don't know. I know nothing. I don't know this for sure. This is just my experience and the experience of many other people that have expressed the same ideas for a long time. This isn't a new, profound idea that I'm expressing here. But many people haven't experienced it yet, or they just haven't tried switching things up to see how it changes. There's a reason why gratitude practice is really big right now. And being grateful is really important. But why is it really important? Because when we're grateful, we're in an energy of appreciation, and what you appreciate appreciates. Where attention goes, energy flows. What we focus on, we get more of. These are like, phrases now that are so commonplace, they kind of lose their meaning, right? Like a bit cliche, I guess. But when we really break them down a little bit and say them in a different way, say them in a new way, we understand why they're cliches. They're cliches for a reason, because they're true. Because it's true. Think about it. When you hear a new idea, a word you've never heard before, or a concept you've never heard before, haven't you experienced the phenomenon of, then you'll start to see that thing everywhere. Somebody will suddenly bring it up. You'll see something about it. Or like you think about a certain kind of car and then you see it driving by all the time, even though you never saw it before. These are called synchronicities, or you could call them like confirmation bias if you're very scientifically minded rather than spiritually inclined. It doesn't really matter. It's all the same stuff. The unconscious mind, spirit, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, so I think that's it for today, but just think about that idea of words as seeds and words as spells. And take it as an opportunity and an invitation to be a little bit curious, be a little bit more careful with the words that we use, the words that we speak. I think Don Miguel Ruiz, I don't know if you've read The Four Agreements, incredible book. It's been a long time since I've read it. Very impactful on my life. One of the four agreements is to be impeccable with your word. And he really, that's a big piece of it. Our words are our bond, our words, our spells, our words, our seeds. Be more careful with the words that you're speaking over your life. Thank you. Talk soon.